Hey, Kevin here, top 100 financial advisor, two-time author, one-time bestseller, and we are here to talk about the stock market. I want to bring up a company that we've all heard of before, but I don't see a lot of people talking about it now. And I think that this is the perfect time to survey it, to research it, and see what you think you can position yourself with it, or how you think you can use the stock to position yourself for 2021. It's a better way of saying it. But again, the stock is Google. Now, you may look at me and say, well, we've all heard of it, but I want to let you know this. The stock is only up 34% compared to the overall stock market at about 12, almost 13%. Now, why do I say only in air quotes? Because a lot of our attention, especially this year, has been on stocks like Tesla, up 400%. It's been on NEO, which is up some ungodly number, right? Everybody's kind of looking like, oh, electric vehicles, oh, marijuana stocks, even energy stocks now kind of coming up. And people have been pouring themselves into travel stocks, which has been, up and down depending on what day you look at it. But I think a stock like Google is the one that over time, 2 years, 3 years, is really going to pay off. But even right now, it's still a good pick for what's happening like right now, currently in November/December. But here's the thing, and here's a reason why I think it's good for the long term, and especially good for next year. Just like the travel industry, we know at some point people are going to go back to traveling. We'll get back on airplanes, we'll go back and vacation like normal people, see family, all that kind of stuff. But here's what we know. If you start to look, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, back to normal for Delta, back to normal for Spirit Airlines, American Airlines, stock market wise, that's really not all that exciting. Most of those, all of those except for Southwest, have been down since 2007. So, that's not really something I don't want those to really come back to normal because they weren't doing anything to really begin with. But we also know that Google, which is again only up 34% compared to Tesla at 400, we know that advertising revenue is down across the board. All those companies, American, Spirit, all these mom and pop shops, all these companies that advertise and spend their money with Google for Google ads and all that kind of stuff, they haven't been spending as much and the stock is still up. So when things come back to normal and these businesses start to spend more money to put out their business, put out their discounts, their coupons, whatever it is, you should see a massive boom in the revenue, which usually means everybody's excited about the stock. The stock usually will continue to go up a little bit further, in my estimation, than what it is right now. So it's an opportunity for you to research and it makes sense on paper. But let's say if it doesn't. Let's just say if it doesn't just pan out the way that I think it will, you do have the benefit of history. Now, history doesn't predict the future. We know that. But you know this, Google, along with Amazon, Facebook, I already said Amazon, Facebook, Apple, Microsoft, we know that combined, they make up about 75% of the overall market return. So you really can't go wrong with Google to begin with. But in a down year, the stock is still up. We know they run a good chunk of the market already. It's almost a stock that is very, very hard to fail. Not impossible, but very hard. If you need more context for what they do, don't they have Google search? You got Google Maps, you got the Android phones, Google Chrome, the Chromebook, the list goes on a Gmail, Google Calendar. I can just continue blurting out stuff, YouTube TV. But all of these things, Fitbit, all of these things they own, it helps them not only grow their product suite, but make better products and help advertisers put themselves in better position. That's how they win. That's how they make money. And we know the advertising revenue has been cut. Same thing with Facebook. I think Facebook is in a very similar category where when people are ready to spend more money advertising, when things open up, like in Disney, they advertise on all these platforms. When things get better, they have more money to spend. They spend on advertising and that cycle continues. So right now is the opportunity to research and see if it makes sense for you. You guys know I already have it. I have it on public. You guys know the vast majority of my investments anyway. But I think most of everyone right now, they're focused on electric vehicles, which is why Tesla is up as much as it is. They're looking at stuff like NEO, the Chinese electric vehicle company. Whether or not it makes it, we'll see. People are looking at Airbnb. They're looking at DoorDash. They're looking at the marijuana companies, Aurora Cannabis. All that's fine and dandy. We'll see where it goes, but I'm looking beyond because once this buzz fades for a lot of those companies, especially marijuana, I'm not sure if it's here to stay because we saw this in like 2016, 2017. Everybody was talking about it, and then it just vanished, just fell off the map. I know technology is going to be here. We've seen technology be here, and we've seen it stay for a while. We can see that right now. Travel will come back at some point, but come back to what? Again, going all the way back to 2007, when none of them companies profitable in terms of if you had owned the stocks in 2007, you would have made no money with the exception of Southwest. So this is the time to look beyond that. You want to grab your Tesla, you want to grab you some Aurora Cannabis or one of these IPOs, you do that. We've done videos on the pros and the cons of it, but I'm looking at something, what is going to be the most stable thing? What is the thing I can rely on? And what's the thing that I can invest in where I don't really have to stress too much about? Google could be one of those. So take your time, take a look at it. I will also tell you, go ahead and share and like the video. Also, make sure you're on the email list. If you were on it today, on Friday, because I'm looking at the date, 27th, I'm bad at dates. It also feels like a Saturday, and it's not. That's aside from the point. But make sure you're on the email list. I'll be sending some other very cool things and information via email over there. Really just, hopefully, we're going to keep it the rest of the year. So we're kind of upping our quality via email. So make sure you check it out. Make sure you join the list, and I will talk to you guys later.